Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Thank you so much for joining me for today's pick a card reading, where we will be looking at a message from your inner goddess. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward. I'm going to try and keep this short, but we'll see how it goes. And before I begin, I just wanted to thank you, of course, for all of your support, for those of you who are subscribed, and it's been a pleasure connecting with so many of you. I really enjoy it. So that being said, let's go into pile selection. I didn't prepare actually for the pile selection. I usually have like a stone or something. So I'm going to show you one of the cards for each reading, because I have already chosen a few oracle cards first. So I'll keep the goddess hidden, but I will show like the supporting angelic energy. Okay. So we have pile number 1. We have pile number 2. Let's try this again. Pile number 2. It's kind of interesting given the bat going on, but we'll analyze that a little later, I suppose. And then pile number 3. Okay, so if you need some more time, go ahead and pause the video. The time stamps are going to be down below in the description box, as well as information for personal readings if you're interested in that. But otherwise, I'll meet you at your pile. Hi, pile 1. If you chose Archangel Muriel, this is going to be your reading. And since we already have this card up, I'm gonna, focus on this a little bit, because it's all about, there's definitely a connection to the moon, ritual, the water in the background, kind of hinting at something coming up with Archangel Muriel. But this is all about trusting your own wisdom, have faith in your psychic impressions. So definitely very mystical magic. As far as your inner goddess is concerned, that's a very strong power of yours. I'm going to read from this archangel and as well from the goddess oracle that I have here, just because I don't know, I think it'll be helpful. I don't read the whole thing though, so I kind of do that scanning sort of thing. But let's see. Many people are sensitive and intuitive and need extra comfort and support. If this applies to you, Archangel Muriel will gently center you and offer you assurance you need. He will also enable you to trust in your psychic abilities. So emotional sensitivity, intuition, compassion, harmony. Okay. It's fairly straightforward. Yeah, okay. And your main, your inner goddess is actually Oshun, which is magical knowledge. So very interesting. We already have a very strong connection with the supporting archangel, who just happens to be male. And then we also have, of course, your inner goddess, which is Oshun. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I do know who this is. And it's interesting, just kind of like a sneak peek at something I was considering doing is and let me know if you're interested in the comments of a reading based on the ocean and water, because and it was going to feature Poseidon and this goddess, which I should probably learn how to pronounce that properly, but I'll just show you another image of that. So very strong connection to the water, probably Pisces, definitely like soul family, I would say. Connection to the night as well, but very strong mystics here, very strong intuitive, emotional, very strong connection to the emotions, and navigating that emotional center. And I mean, I don't really know, we'll see what the message is, but maybe you're at times trying to be more rational instead of following this intuitive guidance that you're getting from yourself, your inner goddess, because you know how to navigate. It's just kind of like trying to incorporate more it's like data into something that can't really be explained, but we'll see. Oshun, I think it's Oshun then, is known as the spirit of sweet water, the Orisha of the river, and is the embodiment of love, beauty, abundance, and divination within the Yoruba religion. Okay. She is often invoked for increased fertility or to solve reproductive issues. Okay, so yeah, directs the flowing current of fate into your life to teach you about magical knowledge. This is the perfect time to employ personal boundaries, allowing you to have the space to assess your current situation, listen to what your soul is trying to tell you, the magical knowledge flow within you. So already, both of these are very well connected. Trusting, probably doing some sort of ritual work would be helpful. Invoking Archangel Muriel as well, because I think this is more of like who you are. You are Oshun. You are very... and again, yeah, there was boundary setting as well, so that might be something that comes up during the reading. But we'll see. What's the message from your inner goddess, Oshun? Okay. So we have the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. Anything else, please? Six of Swords. I usually don't like flip them up all at once. Like, it can be overwhelming for me sometimes. I'm not taking all of those. But this has to be, I think this has to do for many of you about finances, money, or at least feeling stable within yourself. And I think that's why this magical knowledge and wisdom is coming through, where it's like you have something to share in terms of like working with spirit, and maybe at times you feel as though you have to fight other people. So, I mean, it's something that's come through a few times, right? Where like having a stable, practical job is, of course, ideal for a lot of people, but it's also like holding you back from your true potential in terms of actually making money, to be honest, or at least finding your own stability, or it just feels like you're exerting a lot of energy playing someone else's game. And we have the Knight of Swords. I'll just leave it reversed, and then we'll do another row to clarify. But and I'll show you these cards. We have the Five of Swords with Aquarius, Venus. Usually it's one card, one person moving away from a battlefield. But here we see like a dance, and it's not. It doesn't look. It looks confusing, like a confusing sort of dance, and I think it's confusing because it's going against your wisdom. It's going against your flow of energy. So that's why there's this entanglement, because there's two different flows of energy. There's the flow of energy of someone else's perceptions of what you should do, especially in terms of how you make a living. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. I think I usually don't, again, read reversals, and I kind of switch it all the time. But I think in this case, it's kind of being afraid of not having, and we have the two figures kind of covering their eyes. So usually this is like a communication. In a way, it's like a failure to express yourself because of lack of money. In reverse, it could say that, like, by moving away from other people's perceptions, you can change that Five of Pentacles potentially. But it could also say that you're kind of like cutting yourself short by not going deeper into spirituality, like making it more of an actual source of income, especially with the Ace of Pentacles right in the middle. They're saying this knowledge that you have, this magical knowledge from Oshun and Archangel Muriel, excuse me, it's worth a lot, you know. And I think like either delving deeper into that, especially with the Six of Swords too, you know. This is another card of moving away with Mercury. So we have Mercury showing up twice. So that's pretty interesting. And as well, we have Aquarius. So this is, right? Aquarius, like Saturn, it's you. There's an external influence as to how much of you allow yourself to share. And I think that's why the Five of Pentacles, reverse or not, like it's not allowing you to communicate this ocean that you have. And it's interesting that Archangel Muriel is doing a ritual facing the moon, facing the water. I think that'll change things when you just face that you're not really meant to have like a safe, steady job. I don't think, to be really honest, even though it's definitely something that's necessary in a lot of ways. I think if you could shift your focus on trying not to be there, you'll be able to support yourself. And then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. I think this Knight of Swords is another person who's trying to, it's like usually you would move fast, but there's someone who's kind of moving fast in the wrong direction. And I get a very strong connection with the Five of Swords here because they're both dancing in a similar way. So I think there's a specific person here, right? Especially with this card. This is more of a dance. This is like not trying to dance, but it's really not working. But this was in reverse too, so it kind of amplifies that energy, I have to say. All right, let's grab another row of tarot just to clarify this. Oh no, we'll do the same deck. The Strength card. I think it's the strength to move away from the Strength and the King of Cups. All right. King of Cups underneath the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So if you want to get out of feeling like it's a bit of a grind, I think you have to dig into this water energy. This is you. You are the King of Cups, regardless of gender. I mean, you're like a master of the ocean. And I think king is an important distinction from the queen in this reading, in this context, because it's like the king, I always think of like, I was just going to say Namor, the Submariner. Sorry, the Submariner, Poseidon, but like a master of all of the ocean, whereas the queen would be like mastering the ocean within yourself. But there's like mastery of a bigger pool, a bigger body of water. So it's just like more, it's a community that you could potentially be in charge of, and you're being asked to, there's the backs, I guess, but you're being asked to step into, right, that you have a wealth of information and you could build a community off of it, right? So it's pretty on point here. And look, we'll even recognize the position of these figures we have with the Strength card and that ghost, that skeleton. So let me just, because it's kind of hard to see with this deck, right? This was the Five of Swords. Hopefully you could see the skeleton and everything. Let me show you how, first of all, the swords are gone in this next card. And then secondly, her position. She's above the skeleton there, right? And her head is on the sun there. There's like a little sun holographic thing there. So just notice the positioning of where the sun is. So it's like here they're fighting for space in that spotlight, and then in the next card she's taking it herself and she's moving forward with her own clarity. So just be mindful of the thoughts and projections of other people there in terms of specifically, again, career, specifically on lifestyle, like having a home, family, like what all that means to you and what you're expected to be versus who you are. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. We have 3 cards to clarify before I get to the last oracle. I did want to try and keep it short. We'll see. You know, not in a rush or anything either. No, because okay. So after I do my reading, I'm letting this pile know because you're the ocean pile. But like after every reading, I go straight to the beach, like head first, regardless of what time it is, and I'll spend like an hour or 2 there. So I'm excited. And we have the Fool underneath the Ace of Pentacles. That's really interesting. Yeah, and with the Strength card, the Fool with the Ace of Pentacles is pretty straightforward. Like, Oshun is telling you to follow that flow of energy that you have, because it's going to guide you towards kind of unforeseen, you know, landmarks. It's kind of like, and then we have the Lover's card. Okay. So maybe this is a romantic partner who's kind of influencing you in that way. Oh man, I just messed up. I'm sorry. I have to fix the deck so I don't mess up in the next reading. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward in terms of like the Fool. Your path to great success is not going to be obvious. That's why you have to tap into this spiritual wisdom. That's why you have to tap into your psychic impressions into your emotional body, because it's not going to be obvious. That's the thing. It's something that's kind of out there. I mean, once it comes together, you'll know where to go. But it's kind of like following the little river trail to an ocean, but you don't know where the ocean is. You just have to follow the river. And if someone's telling you don't go that way because reasons, I don't know, whatever nonsense, you know, these people make up just because they don't know that that's where the river's going. They'll be trying to stop you in that way. We have the Six of Swords with the Seven of Cups. So for me, this feels like you have more options than you think in terms of a creative outlet, in terms of a way of expressing yourself fully. I don't think you're fully aware of it. Just how many ways you can go about pursuing, especially like spiritual work, to be honest with this group, just because of the psychic impressions, just because of Oshun with magic knowledge, a very mystical, magical pile. And then with the Knight of Swords, we have the Lover's card. So that's why I thought that this was, this is the Knight of Swords, and then this is the Lovers. I do think this has something to do with another person. If you're not in a relationship or you don't feel like there's someone else influencing, this could be like your subconscious self. Like there's that, and this could be like programmed from other people, or just something that's projected onto you as is that Knight of Swords energy that's trying to, you know, that's, I don't know what to say. I'm just like, you know, when someone just gets frozen, but they have a lot of energy, they don't know where to go. And that's kind of how I feel with the Knight of Swords in reverse. Is like just frozen, just frozen, not going anywhere in particular. So that would be about balancing yourself out and balancing the mind and the heart energy. Okay, so let's get that oracle card. What's the? Oh, okay. So you have Speak. And the Speak card flew right next to Oshun. So this is like your guide speaking. This could be singing, but this is pretty on point when it comes to sharing this knowledge, sharing this wisdom that you have within you. And you have the support in case that's something that you're worried about. That support could be Archangel Muriel as well. Look at that gold. So I think these two energies you could tap into. Like I usually don't like, I mean, I guess recommend like invoking, but I think in this case this would be someone that you would connect to really strongly. Archangel Muriel. And then support. I just said support. I didn't see it. I promise. Look at that. Support. I think the support comes in spirit though, which could be difficult, you know, to deal with when most of the people in the physical plane, I mean, this might not be the case for all of you, but for most of you, they're not gonna it's not, they don't support you because they don't understand. Well, that's actually what it is. It's because they don't understand. They don't understand the depth of knowledge that you possess. This ocean is hidden from plain view, but only you could face it. And you're being guided to teach, like very strongly to teach spirituality, to do more. Like, even if you're already doing that, I don't think you've tapped into the full potential of what you can be in regards to like teaching more of something. There's something more, and I think you're being asked to look into it and to dive deep and to go all in, really. So hopefully this reading was helpful. Please let me know. Comment, like, share, do all that fun stuff, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this Archangel Dorenka, this is going to be your reading. There's definitely a connection to bats here. Moving forward, without needing vision of where you're going, usually it has something to do with fear as well, like overcoming fear, moving through darkness. I'll read up on that as well. Actually, I'll read up on it right now. Why not? Archangel Dorenka. Just because I'm not really familiar with that. Yeah, Dorenka. And then I'll read up on your goddess, your inner goddess, but hone your psychic abilities and see through illusion. Okay, so there's definitely a connection to Sirius here. And this particular archangel is from another universe. And bats have volunteered to come to Earth to share their knowledge. They communicate with open hearts through their throat chakras. Some people could find it difficult to connect with Dorenka and gray bats just because of their color. But this card indicates a time for you to open up to your psychic abilities. Practice choosing with your inner guidance. Practice with your heart rather than your left brain. Choosing this card reminds you that metaphorically you could fly. So expand your vision and focus on your wildest dreams. It's kind of like go get it. Go get this thing. And whatever it is that you want to get, it's kind of for your expansion, for your growth, and for you to step into your power. Interesting it wasn't mentioned, but I kind of get like a connection to death as well. And just because Oya is just the goddess that you got, is kind of like, in a way, guards that in-between space of life and death. She's an African goddess. We're going to read into that as well. But there's like that dark energy. Her card says abundance, so kind of, a lot of times these readings there's a similar theme. There's a similar theme between the first two piles, but I'll read this one as well. So, rooted in the natural world, Oya is one of the most powerful of all African goddesses. She governs over thunder, rainstorms, and the winds of inevitable change. Okay, let's move forward. Her affinity for clairvoyance and the magical arts has led many to call her the great mother of the elders of the night. The night is very prominent here. You might work better at night, especially with your magical abilities and psychic gifts. Okay. So, do not fear that your abundance can be taken away from you, as it surrounds you in the form of energy, nature, and love. These feelings are bound to eternal flow of the universe and all that takes place within it. Give without expectation. Okay. So that's all for that. I'm going to jump right into the message from Oya. What is the message? The Tower. It's interesting because I don't know if you could see. Let's try. The card is really dark, and it's nighttime because, like the card suggests, I prefer night. Let's try. Look, she's holding lightning. Her lightning is really small, but she's holding lightning, and it's crazy because the tower is, of course, for many of you know, there's lightning that kind of topples out over, weak foundations. So that might be something that you're going through, is like a tower moment, and I think part of that is moving you towards something that will bring forth more abundance in forms of energy. I think like energy flow is really important to you. I'll just mention it. I was thinking of the Flash. I don't know why though. Like how he could vibrate really quickly so that things pass through him. I don't know why. Just so we have the Knight of Cups and the King of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Anything else? And the Magician. I'm gonna just go straight to clarifying. Well, let me show you the cards first. Okay, so I showed you the Tower. We have the Knight of Cups. This one looks like something's being offered to you. We have the King of Swords. Kind of looks like the communication is being cut off here, and because it's in the center of the reading, and because Archangel Dorenka has to do with communication, the throat chakra vibrating, I think this has to do with you. This is your energy and your ability to communicate something. Communicate probably your wisdom, but your understanding of energy. Let's see. We have the Six of Pentacles. This is all about fairness. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't feel that things are fair, and I think you're being asked to open up about that and speak up. There might be someone in your environment who's just not really honest. And then we have the Magician upright, and this is just showing me, it feels like you have the ability to change situations and bring tower moments to people. I don't know if you've gotten that, like you're kind of like the Tower card for a lot of people, and you bring heavy change, and not directly. I think it's kind of like your presence ushers in change. I'm thinking of, why am I thinking of all these comic books? Anyway, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus. So Galactus eats planets in Marvel Comics, and the Herald of Galactus goes to Earth he goes to planets to find something that's edible for Galactus. I don't know, whatever. But no, I mean, it's like you're the warning that comes before the storm. And I'm just saying the storm because Oya is the storm. You are that storm. You are this goddess. This is the inner goddess, right? That's what you are. It's kind of like you bring the lightning down. You might have connection to like lightning or something like that, or you might enjoy it. Okay, so let's clarify this row of cards. You have 6 and 16 as well. So you have the Five of Swords. We have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Okay, we have the Six of Cups. So Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups. The Six of Cups was underneath the King of Swords. The Knight of Swords also kind of like flashed in there, so I thought I'd let you know. Usually the Six of Cups is something of like a nice memory, something in the past. It's kind of like she's pushing the skeleton down in a way where it's almost like a repressed memory in some way. We have the Queen of Cups as well, with the Knight of Cups. So this could have something to do with a relationship, not for all of you, but kind of, and maybe you've gone through a lot of relationships where, and there's just been a tower over and over, especially with the Five of Swords, being a card of Venus and walking away. So that could be something that's been a pattern for you. And it's kind of like I don't think, maybe you might not have noticed, and not like in a bad way. It's like, I end all my relationships. No, it's more like there's this part of you that's infinitely wise that is like, oh, this person actually isn't worthy of my time. But then your mind gets in the way and it's like, well, they're here, and they're offering me something, and it's the Knight of Cups. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but you're a queen. That's really not. They're not up to par. They're not. And so there's this tower energy, and you bring, like, honestly, a lot of that destructive force in a positive way, where there's like an old forest and you're the fire that brings forth, and that's what I get the abundance from. It's like the abundance comes after the clearing, that it's like you provide, the energy around you provides, and not to be afraid of that, because that's really your goddess power. Okay, we'll do these two then. We have the Star and the Seven of Pentacles, and I'll just leave that there too, because it's the Judgment. So, yeah. Okay, so you're the Judgment, I think, and because it landed where the Tower was and next to the Five of Swords. I think some people try and keep you from doing that. I think that's what this dancing thing is here. We're like, please don't knock this down. I worked so hard for something that's not stable. And you're like, no, because first of all, I don't think you're doing it deliberately, and second of all, no, that's not up to you. You're talking to someone else, by the way. If you felt as though this was you, or this is something that's happened to you in other situations, being urged to say that you did it, like, not in a, I'm hoping you understand, like, not like it's your fault, rather you deliberately knocked it down so that you could create something new and move forward. And when I say deliberately, I feel like it's your higher self or your oversoul. So yeah, Six of Cups. I think part of this King of Swords is not wanting something to repeat itself as well in the past, especially with Archangel Dorenka. It's like maybe you were silent before, but you were able to move through different situations as well. And we have the Star underneath the Six of Pentacles. It's not like I'm thinking like bring the hammer down. Like, what is, these comic book references? I don't know what it is with this pile, but definitely, I guess Thor would make sense in this context, with the thunder. And I think ultimately your goal is fairness in wherever you go. And so while it might seem unfair for those who have made their way up, to the top or something like that, it was kind of based off of someone else's hard work or something along those lines, even relationships where they create the illusion of fairness, there's a very deep part of you that sees right through it and kind of ends things. I don't think you're afraid to end things. I made a reference to death with Oya and Dorenka, Archangel Dorenka, because you're not afraid of that. You're not afraid of letting things go. And if you are, I think you could step into your inner goddess to become unafraid, and then you'll just be fearless, really, in moving forward and stepping into balanced situations, balanced relationships with the star here. And that is part of the balance, is that for the destruction that you may cause, in a way, I know it might sound bad, but I'm sure many of you understand where I'm getting at, like that destruction, but in a positive sense. Like something's already breaking down, so just knock it down so you could build something fresh. That's that Oya energy within you. Yeah. That is part of nature. When it kind of breaks down, hurricanes come through, stuff erodes and then grows back again. And that's really what this star is highlighting that balance of, you pour one of these, I think it's Aquarius, but I don't know, and then the other one is cleansing, clearing, and starting anew. So there's that yin and yang that you provide specifically. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles underneath the Magician. So I feel like this for me is just part of that building that you do. Wondering if it's enough, if you're building enough. I think that's part of that balance that you're looking for, is like, well, I destroy a lot of things, or relationships, or I leave a lot of jobs. Is it balanced? Because that's a card of the moon, I think. It's interesting, the moon kind of shows up in the Magician card as well. But that's kind of like your a bit of insecurity that kind of pops up sometimes, where I'm destroying a lot, but you could trust that these situations need to continue in a way. You keep things going. I think that's a big part of it. And I could see how you'd be seen maybe with Archangel Duranka as like a dark force, just because, like bats, can be misunderstood. Okay, let's get an oracle card to close out the reading. Okay. What is the message, the guidance? We have mentor. Anything else? Yeah, there's definitely potential to teach, I think, with the King of Swords. And it's funny because I always see the Six of Pentacles as a teacher as well. So I don't know if you were interested in more than one pile, but this is kind of confirmation of that as well. If you came from two, it's balanced, yeah. But this is bringing someone up who was falling, so that's interesting. I think that kind of ties into that tower, doesn't it? Because if you, I don't know, maybe I'm just stretching a bit here, but it's kind of like she's bringing this figure up with the Judgment card. So that could be part of your destructive force, or the balancing of that destructive force is helping people move up to their potential. You have service. Yeah. I feel like that is your service. She kind of reminds me of, this card is it's just a dark card, but they're very similar. So that just goes to show that you are being of service, and not to doubt that. Just because it might be unconventional doesn't mean that it's less important. It's part of, again, Mother Earth. It's very powerful energy that you have. So yeah, hopefully this reading was helpful. I'll try to keep it fairly short. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, and let me know in the comments what you think. But I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose Archangel Jophiel, this is going to be your reading. And we'll go ahead and start with Archangel Jophiel. It says, act with wisdom, use information for the highest good. But Archangel Jophiel is about mental clarity, more so than anything, at least for me. I don't know. Mental clarity, but also the beauty way, seeing the beauty in everything. And you know what's interesting? I had mentioned in the previous, or one of the previous piles, connecting it to a potential future reading that I was planning on doing, and this is the same. I was going to do at one point a reading specifically from Archangel Jophiel, and seeing the beauty in your situation. So let me know if you're interested in that sort of reading, but we're going to continue because it connects well with one of your goddesses. You actually have two inner goddesses. So one of them is Sedna with gratitude. And that connects very well with Archangel Jophiel. I think it's being able to see the beauty in, in yourself in a certain situation. We have a whale here, several whales, a lot of fish. So I didn't read it. I think she's connected to the water as well. Probably like Pleiadian energy here. And then we have Morgana, or Moron. I always say Morgana. It's not. It's Morana with release. It's part of seeing the beauty in everything, is letting go of what isn't working, or at least resentment to what's not working. Let us read real quick from, I guess, just the goddesses, because you have to. I'll start with Morana, if I can find her. With release. Morana is the Slavic goddess who brings an end to the farming year. She rules in opposition to Vesna, the goddess of spring. Morana's mythos involves the legend of trapping the sun god, Dasbang, beneath the earth. His escape from her clutches signals the advent of spring. So there's a cycle as well. Yeah, so with the release, the removal of all that is no longer serving you is not a selfish act. It simply sends the message that you're ready to move forward into newer level of consciousness. So this clutter clearing. And part of it is being grateful for that clutter at one point, because it served its purpose in moving forward. So you might have been someone who's had to release a lot in general, a lot of people. Yeah, there is an overarching theme with all of the readings. So, but let's continue with Sedna. So, and you probably see the beauty in things, and also like that's the thing. Is like sometimes people can, and I think this might apply to this pile too, is where you're someone who sees the higher self of people, even though they aren't embodying that. And that could be an issue, right? Where you see the best in people, but they're not stepping up. And it's kind of like rose-colored glasses where, sometimes it's appropriate to let them go because they're just not up to that potential, even though you see it and you could let go with love and kindness and understanding. So let's continue with Sedna. The goddess of the sea and all marine animals. She is the mother of the sea, and it was a story, and I don't feel like reading it. Sorry. So Sedna rises to the surface to offer the treasure of gratitude. The act of being grateful is simultaneously the most simple and powerful expression of our energy, containing the potential to heal not just ourselves, but those we care about most. Sedna has seen the depths of the ocean and yet remains grateful for the life that survives all around her. Commit yourself to this mindset and trust that in all that you have, and trust in all that you have in your life. Take a moment to count all the people or feelings that you would miss if they suddenly disappeared. Okay, so let's get on to the message portion. And with Sedna, I'm kind of connecting it with Archangel Jophiel. And I mentioned, I don't know if it was a personal reading or if it was I don't know, but kind of seeing like a bird, like a pelican, the depths of the ocean, so you could like grab the fish. I don't know, I'm just thinking of that because there's fish there. So yeah, a lot of connection to the water. Okay, what's the message, please, from your inner goddess? Someone's like, goddesses. I'm like, okay, yeah. We have the King of Cups showing up again. That just confirms your connection to the ocean, to the depths within you. We have the Nine of Cups, more Cups energy. It also, there's like a be proud of how much you've grown. It's coming through fairly strong. Kind of your standards. We have the Empress. Lots of, well, I was going to say divine feminine energy, but we do have the King of Cups as well. So the Empress, that might be part of it, is attracting those people, especially with Archangel Jophiel. And it's not in the card, but again, Archangel Jophiel is an angel of beauty, and I think that's something that you possess, strong beauty, and I think that attracts a lot of people. And I think part of your, we have Queen of Swords, part of, Queen of Swords, part of your journey has been cutting them off, release. So it's like allowing them into your life, being of service to them in some way, seeing the beauty within them that is kind of a reflection of you, like this aspect of you. And then when the time is done, to be okay with releasing and letting go of, you're like the current, you move on, and sometimes these people latch on because the Empress and the Nine of Cups, like it just shows they don't want to let go of you. They don't want to let go of you because you're comforting, you are all nurturing, providing, gentle like the ocean, but you can't really put. Ooh, okay. So, I was just gonna say, you can't put the ocean in a jar. I did. Ha. That's, I don't know. I thought that was funny. I catch myself sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I try, but you can't put the ocean in a jar. That's kind of what the message was going to be. It's like people try and take bits and pieces of you to keep for themselves. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Empress is in the center, so I think that's you. With release and gratitude. And again, with Archangel Jophiel, you have a very vibrant energy to you. There might be people behind you, like over your shoulder, kind of seeing how you do what you do. Nine of Cups. I think part of this message as well is seeing yourself as someone with a lot, seeing yourself as a queen or a king, very powerful. And with the gratitude card, I just get a lot of different creatures coming to you. Yeah, I'll just leave that part out. If you want to know, leave it in the comments what I was thinking, if I remember, because I probably forgot. Yeah, a lot of different types of people, a lot of different energies want to come to you, and they're not meant to stay for a long time. I think that's part of the message that's coming through. That's why you have two cards regarding your inner goddess. Okay, let's get clarification. Do another row of tarot. Four of Wands. Venus and Aries, so that you might have Venus Aries placement, but people find comfort in you. That's, I mean, a really on the nose message. It's like people find comfort in you. The hard part is letting go when it's time. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Moving forward here, more Aries, so it's kind of balancing out that there's a lot of Venus in this pile, a lot of Aries in this pile, and a lot of just water in general, specifically Pisces, Cancer, but of course it could be, I'm not really getting that much Scorpio, but you could have, I'm not gonna leave out Scorpio, but it's almost like when someone leaves, you expect someone else to come in. Or if an opportunity leaves, you expect one to come in. Because you already know that pattern intuitively. You already have that wisdom. Do you see that? I don't know if it's on. Okay, I'll take that one. King of Swords, or King of Wands. There's that Aries coming back with the lizard. You know, does the king have a lizard in the traditional tarot? I don't remember. But we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. Yin and Yang energy might have, be in a relationship right now, or at least have these complementary energies. Because these are, I don't know, it's a nice synergy with the fire and air. They go nicely together, I think, anyway. And I think that also goes to show, like, the passion, the expression of that passion as well. That's kind of what makes the Empress so vibrant here, right? Is like the heart, the fire in the heart center, and expressing it, you know, like yeah, the swords, the Queen of Swords is the throat, the King of Wands is the heart chakra, and they're coming together, and it's very big, and it's bringing a lot of energy. It's like the fire is huge, and people want to come close to it, and you wield it very well. Okay. And we have Queen of Pentacles, yeah. Just a message of nurture yourself appropriately, and cleanse your energy as well. When interacting with so many different types of people, I mean, they all have something to share, something to learn from you, you from them. Ten of Swords. With the Knight of Pentacles, you might have, there might be someone currently in your life that might be on their way out. Just saying, I don't know if this is a friendship or something. The Knight of Pentacles. I just think it's standing out because I don't see any other knights. These are queens and kings and empresses and stuff like that. And there's a knight, and the knight just feels out of place, like it's really not up to. So this is kind of that example of the release where, you know, it was nice to support them. They help you see a part of yourself, and it's, you know, they're going to eventually not be a part of your life, but that's not to say, I mean, that's where the sun is. So there's this new clarity that you learn something from them as well, that they offer you something. And with the Ten of Swords underneath Jophiel, it's kind of like that light again, that clarity, that beauty, seeing the beauty in this person or situation that no longer is relevant to you, but still, again, served its purpose. Let's continue with an oracle. Denial. Oh, that might have to do with this knight. I'm going to clarify that with a card, but let's continue. Another message, please. Reciprocate. Dragons. This, I think, has to do with other people reciprocating for you and expressing gratitude. At least that's what this, because these fish are circling back around. And so when that's what the denial is probably about. I mean, you know, when people aren't, again, I guess, achieving their highest state that you see, and when you know they're not doing it, you kind of turn a blind eye. You're like, oh, they're trying. And it's just, it has a lot to do with clearing your energy field, like allowing your ocean to stay clean. Because there might be, again, like some more dense energies that just enjoy the presence of your company. Because the Nine of Cups is, again, usually just a singular image, one person, and there's a guest kind of dropping in. And who wouldn't? I mean, who wouldn't want to have part of the vastness that you are? And who wouldn't want to be next to the Empress, who's just brimming with positivity and comfort? But if you're not getting that back in the same form, then it's time to step up with that Queen of Swords energy. And you have the capacity to do it. It just you might be so kind that you don't want to hurt anyone, but also consider yourself. Consider taking care of yourself and allowing for something new to come in that'll support you and your growth, because that's important. That's how you stay in that Empress energy, is by taking care of the environment around you, your energy, and so forth. So hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.